EA Sports. It's in the game.
Favorite feature that you're most excited about fans getting their hands on it August 10th?
Game flow. For me, single-handedly changes the way I experience Madden.
I can play more games of Madden, so there's a lot of new great stuff, but it's hard for me to enjoy it if I have to commit an hour. But maybe I can play 2 games in 30 minutes.
We talked about 63 minutes. That's how long the average game was. And if you're only spending 17 minutes actually on the field where play-by-play and color commentary makes sense, well, how do you fill the rest of that time?
The guys flow better together, the visuals flow better together because you're not filling dead time.
A lot of the benefits you see offline translate directly to online. I think the first thing is just game time. I think just like offline, not everybody has an hour to dedicate to an online experience, and add to that the fact that now you need to also be online at the same time your friend's online in order to play an online game. Having a shorter game experience makes that a lot more accessible to the broader audience.
The coaching tips that actually, the on-field audio of telling you how to run the play.
We've got you out of the gun to buy time. So
having that information right when you're lining up for your play and saying, look for this guy crossing here, that's something immediate and you're hearing it.
Back in Madden 10 and before, there were times when I was almost panicked. I'm trying to pick the right play. What's my opponent going to do? Am I calling the right situation? Then I'd get out there and I'd have to worry about execution. Now with game flow, I like execution. I just like knowing what am I supposed to do? How am I going to get this done? And I can just focus on running the ball or passing the ball, trying to hit my receiver. It's actually very, very nice.
We'll have help over the top from a safety on this cover 2-man zone.
So it's kind of that good balance of the guy that just wants to skip through, have the coach call his play for him, hear it in his headset, this whole totally different Madden experience that's like being on the field, and he finishes his game in 20, 30 minutes. That's killer.
For our core fans that are really so focused on, what are you doing to gameplay, they're going to freak out when they see locomotion.
Locomotion is what drives every player. It's how they move, it's how they run.
The running back is turning to avoid contact, and to be able to do that now with the sticks and kind of get that leaning and that balance into the running game, to me it makes running backs way more explosive and elusive.
Taking technology from within the EA Sport and expanding on it, and so that we have a really visually stunning, running system, locomotion, as well as super authentic. You
touch on the game planning aspect of it. I think that, for me, that's what the core is really going to gravitate to, don't you think?
Yeah, I think you look at kind of our push for authenticity in playbooks since Madden 04, when I started on the team in design. And it was really all about watching game tape. We got access to every game, every play of every game, and we kept pushing on more and more plays, more and more plays. We got to get every play that every team runs in there every week. And so you've seen our playbooks balloon in size from 100 to 300 plus, 350. And again, stepping back, it's like that's not what they do. A coach doesn't go and say, I've got 350 plays, it's first and 10. Which one do I look for?
Yeah.
He plans ahead of time. And so when you talk about game planning, that's where we're going. It's tough to balance this message of, yeah, it's simpler, the guy that's never played Madden is going to have a great time versus, I've been playing for 20 years and I don't want to have that message on me. I want to play and be authentic to real football, and so game plan is really where it's at for me. To know that, all right, I'm going to stick with the Colts game plan, but I really don't like the way they run stretches all the time. I'm going to start running a lot more play action, and I can just change that up a little bit to my liking. Or if I'm with the Titans, I'm going to use Chris Johnson a lot more. I'm going to move him out at receiver, and I'm going to start passing to him if I want to.
What's cool is I was talking to those guys, and I was talking to Coach Fisher about Chris Johnson, how he uses him, and he said, last year when he started off so hot, they went to Vince, they had to change up that game plan. And what's really neat is I was asking them, what are the different situations that you have on that play sheet? And they all had the same ones. It's all about red zone. First, they call them openers. So 1st and 10, 2nd and mid-range, 3rd and long. And so to have all those, I think we have 24 key game situations that you can take up to 15 plays and put against it. And the idea of being able to weight them so that whatever your money play is, quote unquote, that's the play that's going to be called for you more often. I think that's huge because that's what he was telling me. He's like, every week we figure out, man, this play's really working well. And so they might tweak it, but they certainly move it up into their kind of priorities for those key situations.
I think you see a lot of more seasoned gamers is they find plays that work and they call them over and over and over again. And so that was another thing that, like, why are we doing all this? Why are we creating 300 plays if there's just one play that works for someone every time?
Well, now they can put that in their game plan.
Exactly.
Weight it,
Oh, yeah.
weight it super
exactly.
heavy so that it's
So
all
then now they can finish their game in half the time if that's what the way they want to play. I mean, we've got guys on the team that just love running the Wildcat, so they'll just fill their whole game plan with Wildcat plays, you know, and they can now get through a game in half the time. Still have all that strategy. They can jump out and change it up if they want.
To go from 63 minutes down to finishing games in less than 30, same amount of plays. I mean, you've gone from 350 plays down to 1, and you've gone from 63 minutes to less than 30. I mean, that's probably the biggest wholesale change that we've had in 5-10 years. Madden NFL 11, August 10th, in stores everywhere. It's a wrap.